Hello friends, this is Satvinder Bhatia from Sukhmani Immigration Services, Brampton, Canada. I'm a regulated and licensed Canadian immigration consultant. Today, I'll be sharing with you very important topic which is impacting lots of people. It's happening and it's going on for many people. So what is this topic? I'll be sharing everything with you, but before that, very small request. If you are new to the channel and have not subscribed yet, please do consider subscribing. We talk a lot about Canadian immigration news, update, tips, tricks on this channel. If you like the video, please share it with your family and friends so that they can also benefit. Please press the bell icon so this video comes to you immediately when we upload. Just remember one single thing, this channel is dedicated to Canadian immigration. Anything happening on Canadian immigration, you will get it here. So a very important topic which is recently come to my light, and here, before even going to the topic, let me tell you, when the waters are shallow, it's very easy to swim. But when the depth increases and when the current increases, it's not easy. It becomes a challenge. And that's what is happening right now. In context to immigration, the rules have become much strict. And the visa officers are now finding excuses to reject your PR. And this is happening. This is happening. And one latest thing which has come to my knowledge, and because people are coming to my office bringing their refusals or their PFLs. Now, this PFL is coming in express entry. This PFL in express entry, particularly for CEC, Canadian Experience Class. And here I am talking about CEC candidates who are here in Canada and who are declaring their spouse non-accompanying. Now, that's the problem. That's where the problem starts. You are declaring your spouse who is present in Canada as non-accompanying. Again, a CEC candidate is declaring a spouse non-accompanying, whereas the spouse is presently in Canada on spousal open work permit. That's the starting of the problem. Now, the question is, for many people, this word PFL may be new, those who are not aware of it. Now, PFL is basically a procedural fairness letter. So it's a communication which comes from IRCC and raising concerns about your eligibility, about inadmissibility. So for medical reasons, many times PFL comes. For eligibility also PFL can come. And misrepresentation also PFL comes. So here the PFL is coming in express entry. It comes when you submit, you get a ITA, you jump, I got a ITA, I got a golden ticket, and then you complete EAPR, application for permanent residency. So you complete your EAPR, you submit EAPR, and then one fine day, you get a letter. And this letter is actually a PFL. So now the question is, why do people declare spouse as non-accompanying? Well, this non-accompanying option IRCC has given due to many reasons. Because it's not just CEC. There is FSW, there is FST, Federal Skilled Trade, Federal Skilled Worker. So many times people come to Canada. So for example, a married couple is there. So both of them are earning back home, say for example, back home in India. So one person doesn't want to leave the job. They want to continue with the job because it's a very good high paying job. They don't want to come to Canada at this moment. So job can be one of the reasons. And career commitment. So somebody having somebody working on some critical assignment, maybe other spouse is studying, maybe other spouse is working on a critical project. They can't leave due to the commitments. Kids are also a reason. Sometimes kids are in a critical situation. For example, grade 10 exams, grade 12 exams, or kids are too small. They don't want to, bring to the country, to a new country. Maybe the kids are just born. Maybe just the kids are 1 year old. So there are lots of reasons. Parents could be another reason. Maybe somebody having an old age parent, maybe a single parent. They don't want to leave at the moment. They want to say that, okay, I will attend to the parents. You go. So one partner goes, he takes immigration to Canada, other partner stays back home. Maybe a personal situation. They don't want to come together. They say, you know what, we have a house or a property to sell. Let me stay back home and I will do that. And you go to Canada. You take PR, I will come later. So these are many circumstances, but there is one circumstance, which is to increase CRS. Yes, many people do that to increase CRS. Now, how CRS increases, for that you need to understand the concept and the point system of express entry. Now, when you look into the point system of express entry, there are four factors which change if you are married or if you are not married. So, if you are with a spouse, the age will be, maximum you can get is 100, right? And without a spouse, you can get 110. Level of education, you can get up to 150. You have done PhD, you can get 150 without a spouse. But with a spouse, you can get up to only 140. That's a max points. Language proficiency, you can get 150 if you are married and showing that your spouse will come to Canada, accompanying you. So with spouse accompanying to Canada, without spouse, you are married, but you are saying, my spouse will not come to Canada, not accompanying. So you can go up to 160. Canadian work experience, you can get 70 points or you can get 80 points. 70 when you are with spouse, you are saying my spouse will accompany me to Canada. So there is a difference of 40 points. So your spouse can get you 40 points or whatever they can accumulate out of that. So 40 points CRS can increase. Suppose you say, you know what, my spouse is not coming to Canada. Treat me, I am married, but treat me as single and count my points as single. My spouse is not accompanying me to Canada. So here 40 points difference will come. And these 40 points difference, because the level of education, 10 points. I have already shown you level of education, 10 points, language proficiency, 20 points, and CAD work experience, 10 points. So suppose you're in here, that's very important. I'm giving a case example. So 10, 20, and 10. Level of education, your spouse can get you maximum 10 points. Proficiency, language proficiency, English, French, they can get you maximum 20 points, maximum. CAD work experience, Canadian work experience, they can get you maximum 10 points, maximum. So maximum they can get you 40 points. Of course, it's not easy to hit maximum. So chances are your spouse accompanying you, your points will fall. So here is the scenario. Let's look at the scenario when to choose accompanying. So you can say accompanying. First of all, if your spouse is having a good English, they can get good CLB score, at least CLB 7. That's minimum, I'm saying, right? So bachelors, they are they are having education as bachelor or master's minimum. They have Canadian experience. And most important, you want to immigrate together. So these are the factors. And lastly, here is very important thing. Suppose your spouse is in home country. Suppose you came as a student and you didn't bring your spouse on spousal open work permit. Your spouse is back home in home country. He or she is doing the job there. So in that case, spouse is in home country, then it's better that you can choose accompanying. Right? So these are the options. Now let's take a case. Let's assume what? Assume your spouse is having a master's degree. A master's degree can get you 10 points. So you can get 10 out of 10 here. CLB 7, which means IELTS 6666, IELTS General. So that will give you 12 points. CAD experience 1 year will give you 5 points. Total you can add on, you can see the total points you can get are 27. 27 points out of 40. So that is when your spouse is master's degree holder, CLB 7 and Canadian work experience. Then they can get, and remember the work experience, Canadian work experience, and 27 points they can get maximum. With these good conditions, master's degree, CLB 7, 1 year Canadian work experience, still 27 points. So even then you lose. And this is the reason, this is a temptation. So many consultants tell to their clients, you know what, show as non-accompanying, increase your score, get ITA. And the problem is you have called your spouse in Canada. Your spouse is present in Canada. That's the biggest problem. If you are saying non-accompanying, then why is your spouse in Canada? They have already accompanied you. So that's where the problem comes. Because with such good credentials also, you get maximum 27 points out of 40. Now, PFLs. Well, PFL can be issued for anything, but the PFL issued for spousal, the main concern is misrepresentation. So misrepresentation because, IRCC feels you are actually trying to get just the PR. It's misrepresenting. You are married. You have shown that you are married, but you are saying unaccompanied, whereas your spouse is residing in Canada. And it is an attempt to boost the CRS. So later on, of course, you will sponsor. That's the only way left. So when you do an express entry, your spouse gets PR with you. But when you do unaccompanying, the only way you can bring your spouse is through sponsorship, spousal sponsorship. So of course you will sponsor. So what has changed now? So that's where the PFL comes. That's where you need to provide the explanation. And there could be a lot of consequences when you get PFL. So potential consequences if you do not answer the PFL or incorrectly answer the PFL. Of course, the first is your application refusal. The second could be 5-year ban. You will be banned for 5 years. You can't again put up an application. Misrepresentation. And of course, even if you are not banned, there will be a negative impact on the future applications. And of course, there will be much higher scrutiny on your future applications. So this is bound to happen. Now, these are the consequences. Just remember one important thing. Even if your spouse is not accompanying you, for example, you are here in Canada, you came as a student, now you applied as a PR, you moved to PGWP and you applied a PR. But your spouse is back home in India. Still, remember, your profile can be rejected if you do not provide police clearance for your spouse, if you do not provide medical exam certificate for your spouse. So even if your spouse is not accompanying, you still have to show these two things. Plus, remember the concept of settlement funds. Even if he or she, your spouse, is not coming at the moment, still you have to show the settlement funds. So these are very case specific things. But the problem is the genuinity of your intentions. That's the biggest problem. If your intentions were to get a PR, boost the score, and your spouse is actually here, then definitely the PFL will come into play. So again, case specific, individual specific, you need to discuss your case with us. More than welcome. You can book an appointment. An appointment can be a virtual, or you can meet me here in my office in Brampton. As I said, our office is in Brampton. Address, email ID, phone number, everything is shared right here with you. Very important. If you have still not subscribed to the channel, please do consider subscribing. Thank you very much for watching the video. Thanks.